Good Friday afternoon, evening. Victor,
Hey,
you're
hey.
back. How was your trip?
I'm back. Where was I? I forgot
know.
already.
You were with
Was it-
Incan. That's the only thing I remember.
I was in Istanbul. Yes.
Istanbul. Okay.
See, that's age, man. I was there last week and I already forgot.
Yeah. This time last week you were in Istanbul. This time last week I was sitting in a chair. That's all we do. Hi, by the way. My name's Darren. This over here is Victor, and we're the host of a podcast called DevOps Paradox. And on Fridays when we're around, key point, when we're around, we do a live show talking about things of the week and whatever else might be happening. Now, today, we have been doing AI in the past. Today, we're going to do Devbox. So we're going to be setting up Devbox on a fresh machine.
Took me, only the 1 quarter to convince you. That's good.
Okay, well, I couldn't do anything to the machine until my wife was done with it. So I needed to rebuild it. So this was the time I could rebuild it.
It's a fresh one, virgin.
It's fresh. It's fresh. So we'll talk more about the details. What's wrong with that?
No, it's great.
That's
I
good.
never tried
Yeah.
it, so I'm very curious. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes because, and I'll explain later that I had to install one thing, and we'll talk about that in order for me to do anything for today. So anyway, we'll take a look at the news and we'll get into that probably pretty quick because, again, I don't know what's going on in the world. It's almost like nobody's doing anything anymore. That's what it feels like because there's no news anywhere. There's no new open source projects. There's nothing. I don't know what's going on.
But there are a lot of things happening. It's just that there is nothing that is not AI.
That's probably true.
When we had drama with Scarlett Johansson, we had ChatGPT announcing things 2 days before Google just in case. We had Google claiming that they are going to beat them. We have Microsoft going crazy with trying to compete with MacBook Airs by making AI laptops, whatever the heck that means. A lot of news. Just everything is AI, man. We are in the wrong industry here. That's the conclusion.
For right now, we're in the wrong industry. Sebastian, just mergers and acquisitions. I've seen a lot of that. In fact, I saw one of my friends works for Venafi, who was acquired by CyberArk. Was it this week or end of last week? That was a pretty big one. $1.5 billion. $1 billion in cash and 500 million in stock. I called her and said, so what are you getting out of this? She's like, nothing. Okay, well, good. You still have a job. And that's the key point right now. Still have a job, at least for now. And let's go through this. Bill, good to see you. Germany. Sebastian, good to see you. Saba? I think that's what
Saba?
Please correct us, because we're good with that. And this was the thing. Now, see, everybody's freaking out about this, and I initially did till I started thinking, well, this is.
They already do that.
Everything's. You can do this on Mac and Windows. It was a separate app that would do that. It's not anything huge to me. And you can turn it off, but can you really? We'll see. And hello from Detroit. Great, good to see you. Let's go ahead and get into it because I want to get to Devbox. Because you've got a meeting at the top of the hour, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we'll because I want to give myself enough time because there's two things I want to do, and I want to see if you've done. I'm sure you've done them, but I want to see how it works in real life. And because I have an extra laptop, this is a 2017 MacBook Pro, and it's got a fan. And I've gotten so used to having Macs that don't have fans.
So it's not AI laptop.
No, it's not an AI laptop. It is not an AI laptop. I probably won't be buying. Well, no, this one is not. This is an Intel whatever. Anyway, we talked about with Autumn, if I can say his name correctly, because we joked about this, because it looks like Adam, but it's Autumn. But not Autumn, because he would correct me even by saying that. Anyway, talked about becoming a DevOps architect and what his path has been like. So that was 2 weeks ago. This week, we talked about the changing landscape of open source. This was just me and you. And we were talking about freeloaders. Now, I want to correct something that was said in this podcast, and we're going to be doing another podcast about this probably later in the year. Jenkins is not a fork. We talked about this. Jenkins is actually not a fork of Hudson. Jenkins is a rename, and Hudson forked Jenkins. That's a much longer conversation. We're going to have somebody on that was there when it happened.
Nice.
So
I know who it is then.
It's not who you think it is.
Oh, okay.
I would love to get him on, but I don't know that he would do it. He might. But talk about editing. It would be beep, 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 beep the whole time. So I don't know if it would sound any good or not. Then you know who I'm talking about. So that's number one. Number two, I use the word freeloader a lot. And I kept bouncing back and forth. If you haven't listened to this, this was an episode that made my blood pressure go high. A freeloader is a good thing in an open source project. Just freeloader. A freeloader that complains is still a great thing for an open source project. Because that means you've got somebody using it and wanting to make things better.
You get feedback.
Get feedback. Even complaining is fine feedback. It's the third step where you have a freeloader that's complaining and I want it done right now.
Demanding.
That's the problem. So I wanted to clear that up in case you haven't listened to it yet. Listen to it in that context, because I would jump around and not use the right words. But when people demand something that's already free, or make demands on something that's already free, that's not a good look. I'll just leave it at that. Just leave it there. So how do you determine if something is a fork? If they say it's a fork. Right? That's the key part there, I think. Again, the Jenkins history is very different. That's my Jenkins shirt for today. I think everything else that's happened recently has been forks.
Yeah, because renaming would be more complicated today.
Correct. All right. So the little bit of the news of the week that I did catch, Istio turned 7. Congratulations to Istio.
Yay.
This was from the guys at Solo that wrote it. Or wrote the post, I should say. Or a guy from... am I correct or not? Yeah. Lynn from Solo wrote who's on the Istio steering committee. And Istio just keeps growing. Not surprising? Not surprising.
I mean, not surprising now, right?
Yeah.
When it appeared, it was very much
questionable,
unknown that it will win.
Now, why do you say that? For the people that don't remember the wars, why do you say that?
Because it was mostly between Linkerd and Istio, right? And Linkerd, basically we had two Linkerds, right? Version 1 and 2 that have similar to, what was it, Flux, right? Nothing to do, completely rewrite and what's not. But at the time, actually, if I had to place a bet, I would have placed it on Linkerd, to be honest, at that time. I would have lost the bet, so. If anybody wants to place a bet with me, you see the history, I lose almost always. If you're speaking, Darin, you're muted.
Thank you. I had to cough, so that's the other reason why I threw you on full screen. 7 years for Istio. Remember, Istio came out of Google. That was the other thing. It took forever, right? For it to show up in CNCF?
Yeah, the Google was not very eager to actually lose control of it, but it happened eventually.
It did. Yep. Okay. All right. So a couple of just general posts. This post and the post afterwards, we're probably going to go into deeper detail on. But in praise of low-tech developer experience, goes into, what IDEs are you using? And the answer was Vim. Vim
It's
Emacs.
not an IDE, but okay.
Today it is.
Yeah, actually, yeah, true.
Today it is. So anyway, shorter post, but something we haven't talked a whole lot about. Not so much about it being IDEs, but what tools do you need? Like Victor's tool set is very different than my tool set. We have some overlap. Like if you were to take the two circles, we probably have, what do you say? Probably a third overlap, 20% overlap, maybe. It's a small sliver. So this is something that we've been wanting to, something
But
I've been
my
wanting
tool
to talk
set
about.
is the right tool set, so.
Yeah, I know. But just remember what you said a few moments ago, that if you want to bet against you, then he's most of the time wrong, so therefore I'm correct.
No, you will be.
I will be correct.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, So good post here. By the way, all the links that we're going through today live already down below in the episode description. So you can follow along right afterwards. Programming mantras or proverbs. I heard about this, I believe, on changelog. It's also interesting about how proverbs have an equal and opposite proverb. Don't repeat yourself, and also write everything twice. Premature optimization is the root of evil, while also believing performance is a feature. This is something that we'll talk more deeply about in the future. So I thought this was a very interesting conversation. How did somebody even have time to think about this? I don't know. GitHub this week announced Copilot Extensions. Like, these are blessed extensions. Limited beta. Currently, the list is DataStax, Docker, Lambda, LaunchDarkly, McKinsey. Why is McKinsey here? Is this for what? I heard a phrasing of this yesterday on a movie. Business optimization, also known as firing people.
Because you don't start with plugins that make sense. You start with plugins from your favorite partners.
Again, Microsoft Azure and Teams. It makes sense that Azure is here.
Oh,
Teams? I don't know, because of Teams, I'm thinking like Slack. Slack's not even on here. MongoDB, Octopus Deploy, who's in transparency has been one of our sponsors. Pangea, Pinecone, nice vector database. README. This one was, out of all of these, like README. Well, how'd they get there? And Stripe. So what I'm hearing here is I can have an extension, so I can actually charge people for looking at my code. That's what I'm thinking. That's how I'd use Stripe. I don't know. Extensions in action. So anyway, first set of extensions for GitHub Copilot.
To me, that's very, very strange, to be honest, because the picture I have in my head is, okay, I use some AI like Copilot, right?
Yeah.
And that's about it. Am I now going to tweak it and install plugins and what's or not? Isn't it supposed to just do the work for you?
I would think so, but I don't
maybe
know.
Maybe a general Copilot ID AI can say, hey, I don't know how to work with those. What's the thing there? Something MD. I don't know what that is. Yeah. Would you like me to extend myself? And I say, yes, go for it, right? But not more than that.
Yeah. I just thought it was interesting. I'm still trying to get my head around it. But because I'm looking at the Slack, it's not the Slack, the Stripe one here at the very bottom. It says build, test, and use Stripe inside your editor. I'm working with Stripe now.
Whomever is developing needs
a
payment
Stripe integration.
There's something, yeah.
Anyway.
McKinsey is more interesting.
Okay, let me see if I can read the subset of McKinsey here. Get a head start, generate working code straight from your library of use cases. I want to use
it more like you don't need us as consulting company. You can use AI.
What I'm saying is they've trained the AI on their tens of thousands of consultants. So now they're able to get rid of all their consultants and just use AI.
It's McKinsey. They can train it on one consultant. They're all the same.
Moving on. Today's tool is a variation of K9S. Look at the picture, right? If you were just looking at that picture below, not the cat. If you're looking at that, you think K9S, right?
Is it not?
It's not. It's E1S.
Okay, what is E1S?
It's for managing ECS resources. So this is a panel just for ECS.
Okay.
That's pretty cool, right? Because, again, GCP and Google Cloud Run has the quote-unquote best, here's my image, go run it. Right? It's
but
ish.
That's the thing, right?
For amount of work.
ECS is more comparable to Kubernetes than to Cloud Run.
Correct.
Right? And
yeah.
I still get surprised that people are using ECS, except for legacy reasons, like same reasons why are you using mainframe. But yeah, go ahead. Why not? I mean, anyways, it's cool. Having a K9S type of interface is absolutely amazing. I love K9S, so well done.
This is something that, because like you said, ECS is more like Kubernetes than GCR. Because there's a lot more moving parts and whatever that you still have to deal with.
Exactly.
So this is a nice way of seeing, especially if you're in a hybrid organization where you're using Kubernetes and ECS, which that's not unheard of.
Yeah.
Now you can use the same-ish UI to sort of deal with them. I think it's a cool idea.
Very cool.
Okay, so I'm jumping around here. Sorry about that. So you had two videos. You had one 2 weeks ago, Mastering Kubernetes Service and Network. So this is you going deep again into the whys of...
Yeah. Not deep, but into whys.
Yeah.
What is each of those and when you should use it and things like that.
By the way, I just noticed when I loaded up this is a brand new user experience here. And I don't understand
really?
why. Yeah, because look, I see all your videos underneath. I see over on the right-hand side the comments.
Okay.
So very interesting. This just loaded up this way today. So anyway.
I knew that YouTube is working on completely new interface for TVs, but maybe this is
that's interesting.
trickling down into
Could be.
other devices.
Okay. And then this week's video, you were working with, what is it? It's not Inspektor
Wait, but
Gadget.
workflow APIs was not.
Okay.
Before that one was
Yeah, it was.
services.
That's what I'm saying. This is services. This is
This
service
is
and
service.
network. Yeah. This is 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah. This is probably me at the beginning saying, yeah, this is what we
It
did
is.
before, right? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
when this loaded up, it just, so I don't know where
Cool.
it is. So there's that.
No worries.
Hey, now we get an ad. Okay, well, let's move on from that. Inspektor Gadget this week, debugging. So
Yeah.
so are you telling me now you're actually doing some stuff with eBPF?
More as a user than developer. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Any big videos for next week? You're still working on them?
No. I have
done?
it done.
I
I
haven't
just don't
looked.
know what it is. You already discovered. Oh, it's going to be the video that will end up me being stoned over and over again.
Got it.
I will talk about Terraform and Ansible and Crossplane.
Oh, interesting.
But here's a twist. Unexpected. It's going to be a love story. I'm going to actually argue that you should use all three of them. And when I say all three of them, I mean all three categories. So you can replace Terraform with Pulumi and Ansible with CF Engine or Puppet and Crossplane with something else. But I'm going to argue that you need all three of those.
It's not really a hard argument if you think about it, but it'll be interesting to see. So that'll come out on Monday.
Not in a way you might expect.
Okay, well, I'll give you that. And then we're going to get into Devbox. So sorry for the news, but not sorry. Okay, so Devbox we've talked about before. And in fact, let me go ahead and I have to do a dance here. So hang on a second. So I'm going to pull us back up. I have to switch screens. And now I have to do... I've got to remove this one first, and then I have got to add that. Okay, now I'm on that machine. So what I've got is, this is a 2017 MacBook Pro, 8 gig of RAM, I think. It was cheap. I got it at OWC a long time ago. So let's see. It's a Core i5, 8 gig of RAM. However much disk. So it's small. It's like 256 or 512. I don't remember how much. Okay.
Did you already set up Devbox or?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Here's what I had to do in order to get. So number one, I did go ahead and install TwinGate on here because I could see that TwinGate wasn't available through, and I'm going to need TwinGate. I don't need it for today, but I needed it. So I just went and put it on there so I don't forget it. And I had to install Firefox because I'm using Firefox to connect into StreamYard. Because Safari, you can't connect into StreamYard.
Okay.
All right, that's
Fair
it.
enough.
That's all that I've done. Fully patched. This is running Ventura because I can't run Sonoma on it. So the last OS is Ventura. So fresh install of Ventura. I'll put TwinGate on there. We're not going to look at that because we don't need it. And then I installed Firefox so I can actually connect to the stream. That's all I've done.
Nice.
That's it. So now I have to use a trackpad. Can I use a trackpad? I haven't used a trackpad in forever. Okay. So now I will say that I did install Devbox on another machine that wasn't fresh, just to at least understand the basics because I hadn't tried it before.
Okay.
So at least I'm not completely clueless, but we'll see how clueless I become. Let's see here. And now the fan, you can probably hear the fan just screaming right now. So we're going to we have to first do an install.
Yeah.
going to go to macOS. I'll copy this. I'll slide this over here. So I'm going to paste it in. I hope this laptop holds out. Instant, predictable. Do I want to put it in my base? Yes?
Yes. Say yes to everything.
Okay. All right, we'll take all the defaults here. So now I have to put in my password. And that's it. Okay.
Okay.
Great. We can update it. So let's see if I can actually update it. Because this is one thing I caught.
To what?
No.
To
Just
the
to run-
latest.
Yeah. Which it should be the latest now, but why not?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Just run it and see what happens.
Fair enough.
Okay.
By the way, in the future, when you run Devbox shell or whatever, it will ask you whether you want to update.
Update. Okay. All right. I'm just going to run it one more time just because. Yeah. And bang, there it is. Okay.
Maybe make it bigger.
Okay. I can do that.
There we go.
Is that good enough?
Perfect.
Okay. Remember, you can go full screen too. If you haven't done that yet.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Remember, just double click and that way you're not inside your thing. Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, so updated, you can pin it, which I'm not going to because I don't need to. So now if I... So this is where... Okay, I've got a list of software that I want just to be on the machine. Just like I would typically do
Like
with
a global
apt,
software.
global software, right?
Okay, that part I don't know. I haven't installed anything globally. Mostly
Okay.
because I try to make everything I do available to everybody through a repo and stuff like that.
Right.
But
I can walk you
otherwise,
through
I
that.
would be running globally, yes.
All right, so that's what I've got here. So that's what's underneath using Devbox as your primary package manager. So you can install, all you do is say Devbox global add, and then whatever the package is.
Okay.
All right, so I have one thing that I want to do that way. Actually, how much time do we have?
Do you
Yeah.
know what the thing is?
Yes, there's actually 3 things.
So do
iTerm.
the Devbox search and
Okay,
whatever that thing is.
okay, so let's do this. So it's going to be Devbox, because I did look up all the package names just to make sure I was getting the right ones. So I'm going to say iTerm2. So search iTerm2. Because right now I'm in terminal.
What I typically do next is, in this case it's obvious, but I would always next do Devbox info
Okay.
and item 2 just to, because sometimes you will find out that actually the package is not what you want.
Right. And this is one of the things that I caught before. It's like, okay, when you're trying to do certain things, it's like, oh, wait, finally it says, oh, I don't see Nix. So I need to install Nix. So I'm going to go ahead and just say, go ahead and do that for me now. I'm glad you said to do this because I hadn't thought about this. I remember running into this. I wanted it to hit. I just didn't remember when it would hit. Obviously, I'm not working from a script. So it's doing all the normal Nix things that we no longer have to think about. Now, let me ask this question.
This is probably the only time you will see Nix word anywhere with Devbox. Sorry, you were saying?
So you were saying Devbox shell. Is there any way magically, when I go into a directory, like this, I'm fast forwarding just a moment, where we're using Devbox JSON and Devbox lock or whatever the file names are. Once I hit that directory, that it will automatically go into that shell for me? Or do I have to instantiate that shell command?
I haven't tried to
Okay.
kind of do that, so I just go to a directory of project I work on and Devbox shell, right?
Debug shell. Okay, that's fine. Because that was one thing I was digging around. It's like, well, that would be nice if it was self-aware of knowing that. Okay, now I'm in the shell. Or excuse me, now that I'm in this directory, let's go to the shell. Now, the one thing that I did find out is
So is there a way, ignore now Devbox, right?
Yeah.
Is there something in Linux, Nix Linux to kind of say, hey, whenever you enter this directory, execute this? Because that's what you're looking for, right?
that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, I don't know if
Which
there
I
is or
guess
not.
would be outside of Devbox itself.
It would have to be. Yeah. So we're just waiting on this to go up. So anyway, let me tell you what I want to do. iTerm2, omyzsh, and spaceship prompt. Like that gets my shell the way I like my shell.
Okay.
But I may leave off Spaceship for right now. I'll do that later. We can do VS Code. That's allowed. But then I've got a repo that's got all my presentations I'm doing in 2 weeks. By the way, we're not here in 2 weeks, and then we're off 2 weeks after that. So we're going to be gone for 3 total weeks. Just because. One for me, 2 for you. So I'm wanting to put Hugo into... So I don't want to have a global Hugo.
Exactly.
I want to have a Hugo for my project that I'm doing that has that. But iTerm makes sense to be global.
Exactly. I mean, iTerm, browsers, VS Code, things like that. Git.
Right.
Probably.
Okay, well, that was going to be my question is, okay, VS Code can be global, but they also have extensions. So my question is do I want to use Devbox to manage my extension installation? And if I do I want to put that in the project? So basically I would have the global empty and extensions get loaded based on the project.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It depends, kind of like... I mean, I tend to work mostly from terminal, so I rarely use extensions myself. I'm not sure how much you would vary from one project to another, or would those be always the same extensions?
Well, I think about...
I'm more kind of focused on, hey, this project is self-sufficient, right? So everything is in Devbox of that project. Yeah. But in my case, that does not include VS Code, because to me, whether you use VS Code or Eclipse, that's your problem, right?
That's your problem, yeah.
CLIs are there.
Right.
Like Hugo.
Right. By the way, Hugo, in case you don't know what it is, it's a static website generator that I'm using to actually build my decks for my presentations.
It's
almost there.
I always start Hugo. Whenever I start Hugo from scratch, I use Hugo and then I forget about it for a year and then I go back to Hugo because I had to create some new website and stuff. I always start with a lot of enthusiasm and get frustrated later on.
Okay. So this finished up. So this is good. No Devbox found. That's great. We'll get to the init in a few minutes because I haven't done that yet. All right. So this is fine. So let's go back to... So if you're setting up Devbox at home, you'll have to first install the Devbox binary. At some point, you'll hit a command that will say, hey, Nix isn't installed. If you don't have Nix installed, then you'll go through what I just went through. And then, by the way, when I ran it on my Mac Studio, it was a heck of a lot faster.
2017. And it's not even an AI laptop, man.
It's not an AI laptop. What were we doing? We were doing info on iTerm 2. Okay, let's do that. Okay. So, that's interesting. Is it info?
I don't see. It's kind of hard to read, but I guess, is it iTerm? Does it look like iTerm?
No, it's the red box is saying no Devbox JSON found. So this is interesting. Maybe it's
try global info.
Global info. That's what it is. Info iTerm 2. Nope. Global. So anyway, just so you know, you can services and all that other stuff. But let's see here. List global packages. Okay, here. Let's just say Devbox list. Nothing there. Where am I?
We start with init, then start with the project and then go back to the global.
Global? Okay. So
start with Hugo.
Okay, we'll do that. So GitHub, I think it's called presentations. Yeah. So here, do I have tree installed? Probably not. Nope.
Cool. So, Devbox search tree.
Oh yeah, let's do that. So let's see. Devbox search tree. Okay, there's tree.
There you go.
If I say Devbox
info
tree, it's going to say there's no Devbox found. Do you want to do a Devbox init?
Devbox init.
So let's do that. Okay, so now if we take a look at the difference here, now I've got a Devbox JSON. And that's the only thing that showed up, right?
Yeah, soon you will have Devbox lock.
Right.
Which basically locks the versions, things like that.
Right, so now if we do info tree, now I'll get information. Okay, that's what I want. Right?
Yeah, and so there we go.
Now what do I say? I say Devbox.
Devbox add. Am I assuming correctly? Do you want to put it for that project specifically, right?
It's fine. Yeah.
Okay, so Devbox
tree I don't care
add,
about, but yeah.
Devbox add 3 and then add 211, assuming that you want the latest.
Right. So I want to pull that up here. So there's add and it's at. So that's what we do there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll say Devbox add. Add feels weird to me. I don't know why. 2.1.1. So it's adding there and installed
You will
it.
notice now, if you do ls-devbox, you will see some soft links to specific Nix packages.
Oh, you're talking about the store.
So do ls-a hidden directory, yeah.
Yeah. It's is it in
No, it's there. It's in that. No, it's not in your home. It's in that directory.
really?
Yeah, do ll-a, yeah, or
No, it's not hidden. There's JSON and lock.
okay, then it will be later.
Right, because we haven't. Well, we did add it. So anyway, if I do tree, no tree
Yeah,
found.
you did edit, but you didn't start the shell yet.
Right, so I have to do Devbox
So do
shell.
Devbox shell. Now, if you do Devbox add from the shell, it will automatically add it to the path, so you will be able to use
okay.
it right away.
So I can do add within the shell.
Yes, you can.
Well, that's nice. I hadn't tried that yet.
Yeah,
figured you
basically, I
always
just start with but, kind of like that. That's one of the things that I use always.
Yep.
And then just keep, when I execute a command and I see that, I don't have this one. Oh, excellent. Let's edit.
That's nice that you can do it within the shell.
Yeah. It works like 99% of the cases. And that in 1%, there is a command that will be added in a shell called refresh.
That makes sense.
If there is some special case, something. But in most cases, you just edit and it's already in your path. You can use it.
Right. I apologize, everybody. I wish I had a faster machine, but
Yeah.
this is the one that it's not AI.
This is a hidden way. This is a sneaky way for Darin to say, send him money to buy a new machine.
I have new machines, just not a new laptop. I'm actually probably going to. So I'm doing three. While we're waiting on this, I'm doing three presentations. One on Jenkins, one on podcasting in 2024, and one on Olama. So the first two, Jenkins and podcast, I'll run it from this laptop. Those both happen in the same day. The Olama one happens on the second day. I'm taking one of the Mac Studios with me. That way I can just. That's the reason why I put TwinGate, because if
You're taking Mac Studio with you on a conference?
yeah, I'm driving to
Okay.
it. It's local. It's not like it's a big deal.
Fair enough.
Maybe. I mean, that's the reason why I put TwinGate on here, because if I can TwinGate into the machine, because I'm going out on a third, so it's Friday, Saturday. I'm going out on Thursday to tech check everything.
With conference Wi-Fi, good luck.
No, they hardwire to the desk. But that's the reason why I'm still going on Thursday to verify everything. Because if not, then I'll just bring the studio with me on the day that I need it.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. Computing I remember when I played with this, the very first time I ran this part, like the shell, it needed help. Right? It just took, even on the Mac Studio, the first time it took time.
Yeah, because it depends. 3 might have some dependencies and stuff like that, so it might go crazy now. Okay, what are all the things that I really need for 3? Because it's not that single package, right? Package
Right.
has sub packages and what's not. Still, it never took this long to me.
Core i5, 8 gig of RAM, and here, just so we can.
That's a machine that is not designed to run Firefox and Terminal at the same time. You need to choose one of the two.
That's basically what we're going to see here, I think. Let's just see. Let's see how much memory I'm using. I'm not swapping yet, but I'm close. But Firefox is already being it was the lesser of two evils. It was Firefox or Chrome.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured, we'll just use Firefox. But anyway, actually, it doesn't look horrible. Looks like it's hurting, but it's not horrible. CPU, though. Let's look at the CPU. Yeah, my poor little CPU. Look at that little blue line at the bottom. It's just pegged. And who's pegging it? Of course it's Firefox. Who else would it be? Because I'm sharing, but that's okay. I couldn't think of a better way to do this, unfortunately. Well, here we go. All right, now we're there. All right, so now, whoops, clear, tree. Hey, there's all that. right?
There you go. That's it. Exactly.
That's how it works.
And now you should have that .devbox directory.
Right. That's inside of my home directory. Where am I at? To .dev doggo dev. Well, here I'm going to do that.
No, not home directory. It's where you are, man.
No. It's not. Because we just.
It is.
It is not. Trust me. This part I do remember. It's actually in .local.
Go back to the directory.
It's in .local. And then go to
No,
share.
It's
You're wrong, brother.
not. I'm not. I mean, it's there as well. That I do.
Oh, that's
agree.
global. I'm thinking about global. Sorry.
Exactly.
I'm wrong. Victor was talking about making bets, following his bets. Don't follow my bets right now on this. GitHub presentations. Okay. So you're saying, there it is, .devbox.
There we go.
So if
And
we,
that's full of soft links most of the time.
right. Okay. So that's that. Now that gets ignored, right? Or that should be ignored.
It's ignored by default, yes.
Okay.
I assume that you're talking about git ignore.
Get
yes.
ignored. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I wasn't being clear. Okay. So the other one that we knew that we wanted to do, since I'm here, is we'll just go and do Hugo while I'm here.
Hugo, yeah.
So I'll do not brew. Golly, that's like muscle memory. Devbox search Hugo.
Yeah.
Yep, I see it there. And then I say Devbox info Hugo because I can. And that's the most current one.
That sounds right.
Yep. So now I say Devbox add.
Yeah, not clear, man. Unless you remember the version.
I do. At 0.120. Unfortunately, this is one I have to always remember. Because I have another problem. I have to use, because of the theme that's on the podcast website, I can't upgrade beyond, I think, 124 or 122. Or because the theme is messed up and I don't have time to rewrite the theme. Okay, add Hugo. Now let's see if this is any faster this time. Because remember, this is what took for freaking ever.
Look
and we
at
know
it.
this is a single binary. So we do know that. Okay, computing. This is what took a long time.
Yeah, that's
6. That wasn't bad. Okay, because I'm still in the shell. So okay, run refresh. So do I run?
no. You don't
Devbox?
need to do refresh. In most of the cases, just do Hugo something.
Just type Hugo.
dash version.
Okay. Again, my machine is at 100% CPU right now. Yeah, it's there.
There you go.
Okay. All right. So I could say Hugo serve.
Yeah.
What did I do wrong? Hugo serve is the right. Well, serve.
I thought it's serve.
It is.
Maybe it's not the right Hugo, man. It's probably is.
No, it is.
I don't know. Fail to download modules. That's not a. It's getting confused with what's in that.
Oh, right.
You
so-
probably need to do Hugo init or something like that, right?
No, I've already done that on this.
Is that a Hugo project already there?
Yeah. It is.
Okay.
So, failed
It's
to.
complaining that with the name Go not found, whatever.
Let me type refresh.
Man, are those Git modules that you didn't?
Go the binary with so. I've got Go modules inside of the.
Yeah, you might need to pull the modules.
Yeah, so that's what was I can't
If you
remember.
go
Hugo
to
command.
Teams, I don't remember either. It's one of those things I do once in 3 years.
Oh wait, hang on a second. I need that alias really fast. I think I actually typed down what I needed to do. Let's see. Blah 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 blah. Hugo mod. Here it is.
There we go.
That's the theme update. I'll have to look at that later. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, I know it's there, right? That's the key part. Hugo version is at the top. Oh no, it's not dash dash. It's just Hugo version. Silly me. Yeah. So I know
There
it's
we
there,
go.
right?
Exactly.
So if I type refresh, so the word is actually, so it's not Devbox refresh, it's just refresh.
Yeah, that's just if you want to refresh all the paths, basically, just in case.
Right.
But I maybe
That's not
used it
working.
once in my life.
Okay. So that's getting now. If we were to take a look at my Devbox JSON,
Yeah.
there's my tree and Hugo that puts in some just extra junk for me, and that's it. So I'd commit that. And there's also a Devbox.
Like
lock.
scripts is actually very useful when you get used to it, right? For example, I have some scripts and I would just do Devbox build, right? Without entering the shell or anything, just Devbox build, and it kind of enters the shell, does whatever you want it to do, goes out.
And goes
right?
out. Okay.
Like it's very useful in pipelines, right? Let's say Jenkins, right?
Yeah.
And you want Devbox because it gives you all the dependencies, everything you need. And let's say that you in that project you have whatever. Let's say that you're using Makefile,
Yep.
and you would in scripts you would just say build, and then the command would be Makefile build.
Right.
The difference is that it saves you from starting the shell and this and that. So instead of multiple commands, you just say Devbox build.
So you could just turn that script into whatever you want it to be. Just
Yeah,
it's just a little
basically
script block.
think of it as run the shell and then run whatever you defined as the target of a script, whichever commands you have there,
Well,
and then exit the shell.
okay. So let's just do that. So let me exit the shell. Okay. So now what you're saying is I can say Devbox test because there's a script,
yeah.
right? And I can see if it.
No, so
Oh.
do this. Go to Devbox JSON and change it to, for example, output Hugo version, right? Which you don't have on your machine right now.
Right. So you're saying just change this.
This
Actually, I can,
echo something.
should I add in a new test or new script?
Yeah,
or
you
no?
can add a new as well. Yeah,
Is it comma delimited?
comma, yes, it's a JSON array, but you would need to add it above, not below. No, first of all, it's within the square brackets.
What? Really?
Within square brackets, right?
Okay, I know, but so
So
there
test
can only
is
be
a target.
test is a
No,
target.
no, you can have multiple targets, like
okay.
test this or that,
Right.
and then within a target there is an array of commands. In this case, you have only one entry, which is echo, right?
Right.
It's just that this echo will exit in some cases, so you might want to put it as
Before.
just above.
Okay.
No,
So-
above test or new
That's what I'm
target.
doing. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say just Hugo version,
Yeah,
and then I'm going to say that, and then I'm going to say Hugo version
yeah, and close it.
and comma it, right?
No.
No
Those
comma
targets are just yeah,
They stand alone. Okay.
yeah. That should work. Probably. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll find out.
All right. So if I say now Devbox Hugo version
I think it's run.
run.
I
Invalid
don't see the
character.
error.
Invalid character. So let me check my.
Oh,
this-
did you put tabs?
No, I spaced.
Good.
What did I do wrong? Let's see. Okay. Here, let's look at the docs. So if we look at the CLI reference,
Oh no, you sorry, I was wrong.
Okay.
I was wrong. My bad. There is comma after square bracket.
okay,
That's
That
why
makes
I don't
sense.
Like JSON.
okay. So run
Yeah,
Hugo
it's
version.
JSON. I was thinking it's YAML for some reason. YAML wouldn't need if it's not an array. Yeah, JSON. That should work.
There it is. Yep. And I'm not in my shell, so it gives
Yeah.
me the ability to jump into my shell, do something, and get back out without actually
Exactly.
going into the shell. Okay, that makes
Exactly.
sense.
I mean, you're going into the shell, doing whatever you need to do, going out of the shell, especially useful in automation, like jobs, right? Pipelines.
That makes sense. Okay. So that gets me set up reasonably here. I mean, I've got some stuff I've got to do, but that's not a big deal. Let's go back to the globals, right? Because this is something you haven't done. So what we just did is you've done this day in and day out.
Yep.
This part is easy. Is there a... Okay, everybody be nice.
I think
Okay.
it should
Add
be...
the comma, move on. Thank you, Shift. You're absolutely correct. Come after you. CPU. Okay, all right. I'm just double checking, make sure. Well, that's interesting. Just read won't run beyond June 26. ICQ. Okay, really?
What is ICQ?
Chat. I can't get to that machine here. Anyway, because we got to focus. We got like 10 minutes because I got to cut you out so you have time to get to your next meeting. So let's do a global. So this takes us back. Now that we've done the things, let's go back to Devbox, search iterm2. We can see it's there. Let's Devbox info. This is interesting to me. Let's see if it picks it up.
That might not work.
Yeah, because it needs whatever. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But what we know is, because if we go back here, did I hit the wrong one? I did. This primary package manager. So global add. Okay. So Devbox, global add, whoops, iterm2. I don't care about versions. Just give me whatever's there.
Yeah.
So now this is putting where I looked before in .local share Devbox.
Yeah.
It's putting things there. So now
Exactly.
what I have to do is I have to add this to my, which makes sense. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that. What do I want to do?
You can temporarily just do eval, I guess.
Well, I thought I had. Really? Have I not set up?
ZSH?
This is a brand new machine, so yeah, it's never even instantiated before. Yep. So okay, let's do that. Oh crud! Now what I have to do? If I exit this,
Are you sure that you have ZSH? You do?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's Mac.
I know. No, it wasn't. It wasn't default shell always.
No, correct, but in Ventura it was.
Okay.
Terminal. Oh no, crap.
What's wrong?
Oh, it's gone white now. That's fine. Okay, so local blah 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 blah. No such file or directory. So I noticed this when I did my thing before. Please run this because then that will get. So it needs this like one time. So when you're doing globals, there's a couple of things that will happen. Like Nix did the initial setup. Let me blow that up a little bit more. There'll be a couple of these things you have to do first, like one time.
But I think that they're general, so you don't need to do it for every package you add.
Right. So it's doing its thing here. Okay. All right. So now if I look for iterm.
I mean, I don't know whether it's in apps, to be clear.
Okay. Well, I tested something. Let me see here. Let's see. Iterm.
There you go.
Maybe. Okay. So there that is.
Yeah.
Okay. So that works. So that's global. So if I do, going back to global, there was something else here too about managing it. So you can add multiple at the same time if you wanted to. You can list. Let's do the list. Devbox. Good grief. Box. Global list. Iterm latest. That's fine. I looked at this Fleek thing, but was like, I'm not going to mess with that. That got too weird to me. And then it talks about adding the ZSH stuff. I'll modify this later. And configure figuring this. So then what you can do is you could change the location too. So you can push this up to Git if you wanted to.
Yeah, I guess that if you're doing the local ones you're already doing in Git repos, I would probably create a repo for globals as well and just keep it there. And then, I will almost certainly do that the next time I start from scratch on a machine.
Yeah. And then, so iTerm's there. Now the question is, you don't see this, so I don't see it in apps. So I'm curious, how does it know? Let's talk about which iTerm to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's down there. Huh.
Yep.
So how would I?
How would you what?
That's the question I'm trying to come up with. I'm not sure what the question is. So it's a global app.
Yeah.
So I'd have to know and launch it from the command line, I guess. Right? Because I didn't have to do Devbox or anything here because it did it for me in my shell. It did the recompute here manually, but then it's in my shell as well.
Yeah, I haven't used globals. I'm not sure whether they're ready to applications directory or not. Because basically, if I understood right, Mac applications is just a directory.
Right. So in Nix, you can do stuff with the Mac App Store, but you can't do that with Devbox today. I don't know if they're going to add it or not. But, okay, this is fine. I mean, it's not a big deal. I got my little annoying badge notification, so that's it. That's Devbox, right? It's close enough.
Yeah, it's easy. That's what makes it kind of awesome. It's so easy to add whatever you want, right?
Yeah, so if I go back over here...
And search was horrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrifyingly bad, but then they improved it now. Because before it was searching only if the word you typed is how the name of the package starts. Right? Or something like that. So you couldn't... So for example, Helm package is Kubernetes-Helm. So if you search for Helm, you will not find it because the name does not start with Helm. But then they improved the search recently, and now it does fuzzy search, right? All over. And now search is absolutely amazing.
Right. I don't know if you can symlink to apps folders or not.
Yeah,
I would have
you can.
You can?
I would expect you can. I never tried it, to be honest, actually.
Under global, that's the thing is, can I do it or not? I mean, can you do anything? Yeah, I just don't know what the detail on that would be. I know we're getting close here. How well does Devbox work on NixOS or Linux? If I was running NixOS, I wouldn't worry about Devbox, would I?
Depends. Kind of. I would guess you wouldn't worry about Devbox because I'm assuming that you would run NixOS because you're really deep into Nix, right? Not just kind of, hey, I'm bored with Ubuntu. So you probably like then Nix syntax. And then I would probably go with devenv, which is similar to Devbox, but it uses Nix syntax, which is horrifying for many. But if you're familiar with it, if you're comfortable with it, then I think it's called devenv. I would need to double check. It's like Devbox, but not JSON. And everywhere else, I haven't tried it outside Mac, to be honest. But generally speaking, the advantage of Nix is that packages should work most of the time everywhere. So it should work.
Okay. I think we can stop here. I mean, I'm pretty happy with where it's at this point. I mean, yeah, I've still got more work to do, but now I can actually do the work. I was just waiting until today, so we could do it. But it seems interesting. I mean, you can create plugins, running scripts. Oh, this is the running the scripts thing. There's the script. Oh yeah, and multi-line. So that's good to know. Interesting. Okay, and it is running a one-off command. Interesting. Was there anything else that I saw that was interesting? The plugins, running services, and all.
Init is also cool to me because, for example, my brain cannot rewire familiar commands, so I'm used to using cut. But I don't want to use cut. I want to use but. So I would have in init section, hey, alias but equals, alias cut equals but, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
With certain parameters to make it just as I like.
Right.
So init is nice.
Yep. I lied. I actually installed 3 things. I forgot about this because I needed Git to be able to clone the repository.
Yeah.
When I type Git, it's like, hey, you haven't installed Xcode development tools yet. So I had to do that. So I installed TwinGate, which I shouldn't have even bothered with. I installed Git, which installed the Xcode command line tools, and then I installed Firefox. That's the only things that I did on this machine, and then we've done what we did here today.
I don't know. But I mean, you could do Devbox search Firefox. I don't even know whether it's there.
It's not.
It's not. Okay.
No. Because Devbox search Firefox. Oh, that's okay. So this was interesting. Firefox is there, but it wasn't there where I was looking. Why was I looking somewhere else? Because this is right. This is the current version.
There you go.
So okay, just for grins, and then we'll let everybody go. Devbox global add Firefox. Was that true? Yeah, I'd marked it as it wasn't available.
Yeah, that's the command. Now on your machine, Firefox can take a while.
Oh yeah, but I found it. So I guess it would work. Huh? Oh no. This is yes, Firefox is there, but no, it's not, because I looked it up, and it's only available for Linux. It's not available for Mac.
There are relatively small number of packages that are not available everywhere.
That's one of them. That was one of them. Yeah, because I can't remember where I was looking. It was in the. I got to get you out of here. Let's do this real quick. I found it. Not there. I want to go to not docs. There was a link here to not get started. There was a link to the packages, not templates. Dang it. Where was it? There was a button.
There is search.nixos or something like that, where you can see. Nix is kind of strange because some information is available somewhere, some information not, depending on which. Yeah. And also, curious thing is that when you search with Devbox, you search stable and unstable
That was the other
channels.
thing. Yep.
There you go. So you should go there
Unstable,
and now click on unstable and see Firefox, right?
Firefox. So this is where I was looking. So if I look for Firefox, which was down here, which was funny enough, if I click on show package details, which I know this is small, you will notice that it is only Linux. That's it. So no macOS. So that's one thing that I wish it was smart enough to know that when I'm doing a search here, or I need to look in search, it's like, I think actually here. Oh, it's still doing a registry thing. Anyway, doesn't matter. That's but yes, that's why I ran into, because that was same for Chrome as well. But everything else that I was doing, like even iTerm is obvious because it's a Mac only. VS Code though was for everything.
Just remember after this recording, go to and execute Devbox global rm or delete or whatever the command is, Firefox.
Oh yeah, well it's not going to install anything, so it doesn't matter because it doesn't exist for this platform.
Okay.
Right? Because it's only Linux.
I'm gone.
You're gone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. We'll be back next Friday. Don't know what we're going to do yet. We'll figure it out. Everybody have a great day and great weekend. If you're in the U.S., happy Memorial Day. Talk to you later.